Now we will discuss further. Now you have to locate the river Ganga and its tributary, one of the tributaries that is Son. So you can see that in the map, this is Ganga, and these are its tributaries. This is Son, Chambal, Yamuna. All these are the tributary of Ganga. So now we will discuss about it. In ancient times, the area along these rivers to the south of the Ganga was known as Magadha. Its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom. Kingdoms were set up in other parts of the country as well. So you have to understand the development of the civilization also. You can see, first of all, people started living along the bank of Narmada, and at that time, people used to mm, mm, what was the main occupation of the people, what people do, uh, what people did in order to fulfill their food related need. People were doing at that time hunting and gathering. Okay, and then what we see that when people started in that Suleiman and Kirthar hills, there people started growing crops. Now the hunter and gatherer, they become farmer, and besides farming, besides growing crops, they were also rearing animals, because they were using the various products of animals. So, in this way, slowly and slowly, what we are seeing that human lives are changing, and when people started uh, growing crops, what was the year? The year was 6000 BC. Then what we find that in Garo Hills and in Vindhyas region also people were growing crops. And then comes 2700 BC. By this year, what we find that the earliest cities came into existence. So first people used to live in forest, then live in forest, and at that time they were doing hunting and gathering. And then what happens that people started growing crops, and now they started to live at one place, and this place was called village. And now we are talking about 2700 BC, when people started to live in cities. So, in this way, what we find that uh, how the lives of human is changing, how the whatever we are knowing about the past, it is changing with the time. Then, what we find that uh, on the southern side of Ganga, there developed a very big kingdom, and that was known as Magadha. Okay, and not only in the south of Ganga, but there were many other parts of the country where kingdoms were set up, and this way the civilization was growing. Okay. Throughout, people traveled from one part of the subcontinent to another. The hills and high mountains, including the Himalayas, Desert, rivers, and seas made journeys dangerous at times, but never impossible. What happened that people were moving from one place to another place because there was various reason. I will tell you the reason later. First, you understand that people were moving from one place to another place, and what was the problem in this movement? The problem was high mountains like Himalayas. The problem was desert. The problem was rivers and seas. All these geographical features were making the movement of the people very cumbersome, very dangerous. But still, people used to move from one place to another place. These obstructions, these problems, people used to defeat these problems and they kept moving. Okay, now we come to the reason why people moved from one place to another. People used to move from one place to another in search of livelihood because at one place if they are not finding any kind of source of livelihood, then they will move to another place. Then there was another reason also. What happened that there were natural disasters like flood or droughts. In that case, what happened that people's life became very bad at that place, so they have to move out of that place. Sometimes it also happened then that people marched in armies, and what they did, they conquered. They were they started controlling other lands also, and merchants were also there who traveled in their caravans, or they traveled in ship, and they used to carry valuable goods from one place to another place because they were merchant, they were traders, they were when they used to purchase a particular thing at one place and sell that thing at another place at a high rate, and this was their the difference in the cost was their profit. So merchants used to move from one place to another place. Then there were also religious teachers who also moved from one place to another place because they wanted to spread the religious instructions, the religious teachings to the people, to common people. And finally, there were some people who traveled only because they want some adventure in their life and they wanted to discover new and exciting places. So, in this way, what we find that people used to move from one place to another place, and when people move from one place to another place, what happens that it causes, it leads to the sharing of ideas. People belonging to one place now they are moved to another place. So when people come from another place, they also bring new ideas with them, and when they come to the new place, they experience many new ideas there also, and in this way what happens that sharing of ideas took place. Now, there is a question for you. Why do people travel nowadays? At present, in present situation, what is the reason of a movement of people? Even today, we also move because of our job, because of in search of livelihood we have to move from one place to another place. Then we also move for the purpose of education. Then we move for the purpose of tourism. We want to see new places. Sometimes because of adventurous reason also we move. So reasons are more or less same. and for the purpose of businesses also people used to move from one place to another place. So now next portions will be discussed tomorrow.